guys, hi, good evening everyone. How are you all? Please let me know in the comment section. So let's see who all are there today in the comment section. So hi Akash, hi Divya, hi Prajwal, hi Manas, hi Bhupendra, Neetu, Divya, Sri. Okay, hi everyone, good evening everyone. I hope you had a nice day, guys, and now we are here to make your evening also lovely. So what I'll do is I'll straight away bring in today's instructor, not today's, for this entire batch instructor. So he is none other than Saurabh sir actually. So I think all of you might have already attended some of his sessions. Okay, if not, please know him today, guys. So he's an amazing trainer. He's amazing developer, and he has also represented India in a global platform. Actually, in the skill Olympiad, he is a gold medalist, 2 times gold medalist actually. Okay, so be there, learn from him. It would be a great journey actually, and you would see you'll get to know how to start with this web development journey. So it's basically JavaScript session, guys. Earlier we had done HTML session, actually HTML and CSS session. So this is JavaScript, and then also we are coming up with responsive website design along with Saurabh sir only. So you just I think Saurabh sir also had asked to all of you to attend all these 3 batches serially, like sequentially, one by one, so that you would have a good amount of front end part idea about the front end part, right? Okay, so I'll not talk about this JavaScript development more. That is like Saurabh sir's forte. So I'll not talk about that. I'm here just to do a quick chit chat with all of you, right? Okay, a quick interaction and a few announcements. Just guys, let's all greet first Saurabh sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
How are
sir.
you?
Hello, hello. I'm good. I'm really good, sir. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine, sir. I'm absolutely fine. Yeah, so like your students have already started greeting you, sir. If, I guess you already are seeing the YouTube chat there. So
Yes, sir. I
people,
can see it.
students are already greeting you there. So guys, I'll just announce few things here. We have like 2 kinds of certificate actually. One is participation and one is completion. I think most of you already know this. And to get participation certificate, you have to attend all this 3+1 4 days session, right? Okay, so you have to attend 3 days of JavaScript session and 1 session of career and placement guidance session, right? And you put attendance for all those 4 sessions, and you would be eligible for participation certificate. And what about completion certificate, guys? If you put attendance along with putting attendance for all these 3+1 4 day session, if you also submit all the assignments, whatever would be given by Saurabh sir throughout this course, if you also submit those assignment or projects, you will be eligible for completion certificate from LetsUpgrade, ITM group of institutions, NSDC, and Skill India. Okay, and guys, you should also know this. Those who would be eligible for completion certificate, you'll be getting a physical copy of completion certificate, not the participation. Only the people who would be eligible for completion certificate would be getting a physical copy of it. Okay, right? You would be asked to fill up a form. Okay, so when an eligibility list would be rolled out, if you would be eligible, then you would be asked to fill a form where we would collect your address also, so that the certificate would be dispatched to that particular address. Okay, that's how you will get it. So guys, those who want to get a physical copy of completion certificate from LetsUpgrade and accredited by ITM and NSDC and Skill India, you do please, along with putting attendance, you also submit all the assignments and all. Okay, so I'll not talk much. I'll not delay the session more. I'll just give it right away to Saurabh sir. I'll hand it over to him, and you, and it would be all like your time and Saurabh sir's time. You learn, you discuss everything you do, right? Okay, just one thing, guys, you'll find all the necessary links in the YouTube description, on this video description, like attendance link. And yes, if someone has not registered for this course yet, you'll find also the registration link in the description. Guys, please do register for the course to get the benefits of this certification and everything. If you have not get it yet, let me just give me one moment. I'll just put it here. Okay. So what other links you will find, guys? You will find attendance form link there. I'll find at assignment submission form link there in the description. Everything is in the description, guys. You just have to get it from the video description actually. Okay, you'll find community group link. You'll find some other details also regarding the course. So just check the description and you'll find everything there. Everything there. Okay. So I'm just putting the registration link first of all. If anyone has not registered for the course yet, please do it. Okay, and rest of all you can find all other links in the description like the assignment, attendance, everything. Anyway, after some time you'll also get the attendance links and all. Okay, so yeah, I'm going back to the yeah, Saurabh sir.
Yes, sir, I can hear you. You were stuck a little there.
Yeah, so I'm going back, sir. You started ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I can see all the chats now. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, guys. Good evening, and I welcome all of you to this JavaScript Essentials course. So I can see a lot of familiar names and a lot of new names. So no need to worry at all. We're going to start everything from scratch. And I think just few days back, we also completed the HTML and CSS Essentials. And I think we also completed like few days back, like before that, we also completed some like Bootstrap Essentials. So if you have attended it, that's amazing. If you have not a problem at all, because we are going to start everything from scratch. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, Omkar, Amit, Shivam. Good evening, everyone. And I welcome all of you to this JavaScript Essentials course. So it's again a 3-day course, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Okay. So like there are a lot of components in JavaScript. So we'll try to at least cover the basic fundamentals, and we'll at least try to create something really cool, like something that looks really cool, a good mini project. Okay, and after that, we're also having a responsiveness session, right? After completing JavaScript, as I told you in the previous lectures, we're also going to have responsive web design sessions. So again, let's not use any more time. Let's directly start with the session. So I welcome all of you to this JS Essential course, and I like just good evening to everyone. And let's start. So before starting, you guys tell me, are we excited, everyone? And Subra sir, can you please share my screen as well? I think they can't see my screen. Everyone, till the time my screen is shared, can you guys tell me, are we excited for this course, everyone? Because now from today till the next 3 days, we are only going to learn everything about JavaScript. Okay, so no need to worry at all. But I think there are some problems with my screen sharing. Okay, let me just talk. Um, mm, just wait, guys. Just wait a minute. I'm so sorry for this. Let me just have a call with sir. Let me see if he can share my screen. Just wait for 2 minutes, guys. I hope you guys can hear me. Just wait for 2 minutes. Just wait for 2 minutes. And I think sir is facing some internet issues. So maybe in just next 1 minute, we're going to start like my screen sharing. So I'm so sorry for this, guys. Just wait for a minute. Just wait for a minute. I already had a word with sir, and he'll share my screen in a minute. So till the time I'll answer your questions. Don't worry about it. When will be the career guidance? I think the career guidance session will be directly after JS sessions. So once we complete the JS session, once we complete the responsiveness web design session, and after just that, we're going to have the career guidance session. Okay, everyone. So don't worry about it. I think once we finish JavaScript and also once we finish the responsive web design sessions, then we're going to have the career guidance session. So don't worry about it, everyone. Don't worry, money. Okay, now I think you guys can see my screen. My screen is shared. Okay. So now, guys, let's move ahead and don't worry. Hold your questions about attendance, about the career guidance. We're going to have them. So don't worry about it at all. Okay, guys, don't worry about it at all. Maybe just after JavaScript and just after what you call responsive web design, we're going to have a career guidance session. So don't worry, everyone. Okay. So, guys, let's not use any more time and let's directly start with our essentials, JavaScript essentials. Okay. So, till now, we have completed HTML and CSS, and now we can go for something called as JavaScript. And now, before starting with anything, just what we do in every lecture, let's open a notepad again and let's try to understand first of all what exactly is JavaScript. Now I know that a lot of people here might be knowing what like JavaScript is already, but not a problem at all because we are starting from scratch. So this is for everyone. Let's try to understand what exactly is JavaScript before moving on to it, before trying to learn it directly. Okay, everyone. So let me write it here. So this is what we're going to learn, and yeah, here we go. I started making spelling mistakes. Okay. So we are going to start with something called as JavaScript today. So what exactly is JavaScript? Okay. Now, JavaScript has many definitions. So let's go one by one and let's try to understand all the definitions. Okay. And let's create one of our definitions by which we can understand what exactly JavaScript is. So first of all, JavaScript is a scripting language. Okay. First of all, JavaScript is a scripting language that is almost similar to a programming language. So you can also consider JavaScript a programming language. So JavaScript is nothing but a scripting language slash programming language. Okay. That helps you to manipulate the DOM. Now, do you guys remember DOM? Everyone? Guys, like I can see a lot of familiar names. So everyone, please tell me, do we remember what exactly is DOM from the HTML and CSS sessions? Everyone, please tell me. I can see a lot of familiar names. Everyone, do we remember what is DOM? And if you don't know, don't worry. I'm going to explain it again. Okay, so not a problem. So JavaScript is nothing but a scripting slash programming language. Okay, and which is basically used to manipulate DOM in the front end. Now, before starting, let's go ahead. Okay, now for all the people who don't know what exactly is DOM, don't worry about it. And yes, I can see a lot of people asking scripting means. Scripting is exactly like programming. Scripting is exactly like programming. Okay, you have like the basic concepts like variables, loops, conditions, arrays, objects, all that concepts. Okay, so scripting is 99% similar to programming. There is only one difference. So like if it is a compiler based language, it's a programming language. If it is an interpreter based language, it's normally called as a scripting language. So that's why that is the basic difference between a scripting language and a programming language. Other than that, almost everything is exactly same. So it's like C++. We have variables, loops, and everything. We also have that in JavaScript. So you can also call JavaScript as a programming language. Is that clear? So that's the basic logic. That's the basic logic. JavaScript is just a programming language. It has all the concepts like variables, loops, conditions, arrays, objects, what you have in C++, what you have in Java, what you have in C#. But other than this, JavaScript is also playing some other really important role. JavaScript is also used for something called as DOM manipulation. But what exactly is DOM manipulation? And before that, first of all, we have to understand what is exactly DOM. Now, a lot of people here know what is DOM because I have like just told you about this in the last sessions. But before that, let's start it again. Let's talk about it. So suppose, let's say you're creating an HTML file, right? You all create HTML files. You write your basic HTML code like this, right? HTML, then you have this slash HTML, right? Then you again have your head inside it. So you write your head, then slash head, then inside head, let's say you have title, okay? So you might have title, and then you also have, let's say, okay, I'm so sorry, slash title, and then after head, you have body, and then again you have slash body. Okay, so let's say you have a simple structure like this. Yes, we just started, everyone. So let's say you have a simple structure like this, right? Let me just put up some spaces so that you can like see it perfectly like this. And yeah, like this, so that you can see it perfectly. So here you go. Like this is how you write your basic HTML code. So I really assume that everyone knows what exactly HTML is here. So this is your basic HTML code. Now when you write this code, let's say for example you again go in your body and you create some other tags, like let's say you have a p tag, Okay, then you might have like a h1 tag, something like that. Okay, now when you execute this, that means when you run this page on the browser, what is actually happening inside? So the browser actually reads your HTML code and converts it into a tree. Browser reads your HTML code and converts it into a tree. For example, if I tell you, see this code and try to like make a tree out of it, you'll say, okay, fine. HTML will be the parent. Inside HTML, you have head, right? Because inside HTML, you have head and then you have body. So inside HTML, you have head and body. Inside head, you have title. Inside body, you have P and H1, right? So the tree will form like this. So browser, when you run your HTML code on the browser actually converts your code into a tree. And then it reads the tree and creates the output for you. So that tree that is created by the browser internally, that is what you call as DOM, document object model. That is what you call as DOM. The tree structure of an HTML document is considered as DOM, where each and every element like title, P, H1, body is considered as an object. Is that clear, everyone? So that's what we call as document object model, object model of your HTML document. Simple object model, a tree model of your HTML code. That's it. That's what happens. So everyone, are we cleared with this now? Guys, are we cleared what is DOM now? Right, everyone? So this is what it is, DOM. This is so in like when you think of it normally, it's just your HTML. But internally, it's a tree structure of your HTML diagram or of your HTML code that is created by the browser. That's it. Simple. And as I said, JavaScript is a DOM manipulation language. Okay, let me just write it again. DOM manipulation. So JavaScript is a DOM manipulation language. That means JavaScript can help you to manipulate the DOM tree. JavaScript can help you to manipulate the DOM tree. That means JavaScript can help you to add a new object in the DOM, remove an object from the DOM, or manipulate the content of a element in the DOM, right? Or basically remove the content or manipulate the CSS of an element. JavaScript can do anything. And that's why it is also considered as a DOM manipulation language. JavaScript can simply manipulate that tree, right? By using JavaScript, you can take an element, change its content, change its CSS, change its sizing, remove it, add a new element. You can do anything. Is that clear? So that's why JavaScript is also considered as a DOM manipulation language. Okay, so JavaScript supports all this, and also JavaScript helps you to perform DOM manipulation. And this DOM manipulation thing is not done by any other language. That's why there is no competition to JavaScript in this scenario. And that's why JavaScript comes on the top whenever you talk about web manipulation or DOM manipulation. So whenever you're working with websites, that's why JavaScript simply comes on top, because there is no other language that does this thing. Is that clear, everyone? So there is no competition for JavaScript in this case. So I really hope we are cleared with this. So JavaScript is like a programming language, contains all these things. And the other thing is it can perform DOM manipulation. Okay, so that's what JavaScript does. But now, till 2009, JavaScript was simply doing this. JavaScript was simply made for this. It was having all the programming constructs and it was also performing DOM manipulation. So till 2009, JavaScript was only doing this. But then in 2009, a person named Randall thought, why not? We should extract JavaScript outside the browser and we should use it for something else. Like if JavaScript is also a proper programming language, why not extract it from the browser? Because see, till 2009, JavaScript was only a browser dependent language. That means browser was the only place where JavaScript can execute. That's why it was only working with DOM manipulation. It was only working with HTML because it was a browser dependent language. It used to only run inside the browser. So the running environment of JavaScript was only the browser. That's why whenever you want to write JavaScript, it was always with HTML. But Randall thought JavaScript has all the programming constructs like Java, like C#. Why not? We should like extract it outside the browser and use it for something else as well. Okay. So in 2009, a person named Randall created something called as Node.js. Okay, created something called as Node.js, which is nothing but a simple running environment for JS. Just like C compiler, a running environment for C. Just like JDK, JRE, a running environment for Java. Right? So whenever you want to like execute a programming language, first of all, you install all the dependencies, right? The running environment, the packages and everything. Okay. So by default, JavaScript only used to run inside the browser. But in 2009, Randall created Node.js, which is nothing but what? A running environment for JavaScript, a software that helps you to run JavaScript. So you can simply go on, install Node.js in your PC. And once you have installed Node.js in your PC, that means now your PC supports JavaScript. And now you can run JavaScript anywhere in your PC. Now you can run JavaScript anywhere in your PC. Now, if you can run JavaScript anywhere in your PC, that means now it's not only working with HTML. Now it's also working without HTML. It's because it is running outside the browser. And now you can use JavaScript for the things that you can do with Java, for the things that you can do with C Sharp, like connecting to backend, connecting to databases, handling requests, sending responses, all the backend stuff, all the server side stuff. So in 2009, JavaScript also became a server side language. So before 2009, JS was only a client side language. But after 2009, JS also became a server side language. That means now JavaScript is simply full stack. JavaScript is simply full stack. It can help you to work with the HTML in the DOM manipulation in the client side, and also now it's server side. That means it can help you to connect to databases and everything. That means now you only need one language to do everything. If you learn JavaScript, you can also create the front end. You can also work with the back end, connect databases, and do everything. Is that clear, everyone? That's what makes JavaScript unique and really cool, because one language doing everything. Are we cleared, everyone? Guys, please tell me, everyone, are we cleared? Everyone, I want answer from everyone. Are we cleared, everyone? And remember, guys, Node.js, a lot of people, whenever I ask, like, what is Node.js, they always tell me it's a programming language or it's like a framework. No, Node.js is simply a running environment, or you can also call it a JS runtime, right? Let's say JS runtime. You can also call this. So this is what JavaScript is. This is what JavaScript is. Till 2009, it was only a client-side language. It is only, it only used to work with the front end in the browser. It was only working with HTML and CSS. But now JavaScript is much more. It's outside, and you can simply use it anywhere for anything. Now JavaScript is used for machine learning. JavaScript is used in robotics, and now JavaScript is used for server-side languages. JavaScript is everywhere. So one language doing a lot of things. Okay, React.js. Nipun, React.js is a framework of JavaScript. So React.js is a framework or a library built in JavaScript. That means React.js is not a language. It's just a library in which you're again going to write JavaScript. Okay. So I hope we are clear with this, everyone. And now in this case, guys, now in this 3-day session, we are only going to talk about the client side JavaScript. We are not going to learn about the server side JavaScript. But remember, guys, the basics are same. The basics are same. So in the next 3 days, we are only going to talk about the client-side JavaScript, in which we will learn all the programming constructs of JavaScript, plus we'll learn DOM manipulation. That means we'll see how JavaScript works on the front end. We are not going to see how JavaScript works in the back end. But remember, the basics are going to be same. Whether you're working with back end, whether you're working with front end, doesn't matter. The basics are going to be same. So in this 3-day session, we are only focusing on the basic programming constructs and DOM manipulation. That means we're only going to learn JavaScript at the client side, not at the server side. But I just wanted to tell you what exactly JavaScript is. That's why I also told about, like, I also told you about Node.js and how JavaScript can run outside the browser. Okay, everyone. Okay, so now, guys, let's move ahead and let's start learning JavaScript at the client side, JavaScript on the front end. Is that clear, everyone? So let's go and let's start it. Okay, and now first, and I would also like to introduce you with the things that I'm going to use. Okay, so in this case, you only need two things. In this case, you only need two things: a browser and a code editor. That's it. Just like HTML and CSS, a browser and a code editor. So first of all, I would like to introduce you with the editor that I'm going to use. I think everyone knows it, but still, we're going to use something called as VS Code. So for all the new people, right, for all the new people who don't know what is VS Code, just go on Google and just simply search for VS Code download, and you can simply go ahead. Now, depending on your OS, just download anything from it. So if you're using Windows, just download Windows. If you're using like Linux, download any of these, depending on your Linux distro. Or if you're using Mac, go for this. And I really hope you guys know how to install a software. So it's simple. You will simply get an exe file or an MSI file, double click, next, and simply install it. That's it. Done. So this is what I want you guys to use. And one more thing, if you don't want to use VS Code, that is also totally fine. You can also go for Sublime Text. You can also go for brackets. You can also go for Notepad++. It's totally up to you. Is that clear, everyone? So now it's totally up to you. But I would suggest you to use VS Code because now, like, it's like very famous. A lot of people are using it and it has a lot of cool features. So you should go for it, but not a problem at all. You can go for Sublime, brackets, Atom, PHP Storm, anything that you would like to use. Just don't use Notepad. That's it. Just don't use Notepad. So this is the only thing we need here. And the other thing is the browser. And I really hope that everyone have it because, right, you're watching it on YouTube, so you might be having a browser. So that's fine. You just need a browser. Chrome would be better, but Mozilla will also do. Just don't use IE. Okay, so Chrome would be better, but Mozilla will also do in this case. And I can see a lot of people asking, okay, yeah, I can explain you what is interpreter versus compiler. Yes, I can explain you. Now see, I'll just tell you very simply. So compiler is something that compiles your code in a block. For example, you write the whole code and the whole code is compiled at once. The whole code is compiled at once. That means you first write your code, okay, and then the whole code will be compiled at once. Like C, in C, right? You write your whole code like 10 lines, 20 lines, 30 lines, and then you press on compile, then the whole code is compiled, right? In this next step, like if you talk about interpreter, what interpreter is it simply compiles your code line by line. Like Python, if you go in Python, write one line of code, press enter, that line is already compiled, converted. Second line, converted. Third line, converted. Fourth line, converted. So that's what an interpreter does. It compiles your code line by line. And compiler basically compiles your code at once. You write everything and then compile everything at once. So that's like what compiler does. And the next thing is what an interpreter does. Is that clear? So one is first write whole code, then compile. One is simply compile the code line by line. Write it, compile, write it, compile. That's it. Is that clear, everyone? So that is what a difference between an interpreter and a compiler is in a basic sense. Simple. One is converted line by line, one is converted at whole. Simple. Okay. So now I'll keep this browser open because I'm going to use it. And also let's simply go ahead and open something called as VS Code. And here we go. This is how it would look like. Exactly. So what is template retrievals? Also learn about this. Don't worry, Shreyansh. I'm going to explain it what exactly is template retrievals. So don't worry about it. Okay. So here we go, guys. Just open it like this and remove this welcome screen. We don't need it. And now, before moving ahead, let's install some extensions that we're going to need in VS Code so that it can help us in JavaScript like coding. So you can see this 4 boxes, right, everyone? So if you're installing VS Code for the first time, you might know, like you might don't know what exactly are extensions. So I would like to tell you what exactly are extensions. So extensions are nothing but a piece of software that you install internally in VS Code that helps you in some purpose, like coding or execution or like looking wise or making your code look good. So extension is nothing but a piece of software that you install internally is VS Code. Maybe it's a dependency that you install internally in VS Code that helps you in your coding in some way. Maybe in good looking way, maybe in code arrangement way, maybe in giving like showing you errors if you do any problem in that ways. Is that clear, everyone? So simply go here on these 4 boxes and here you'll see a lot of extensions list. And like see, these are the extensions that I use. So this is what you should install: JavaScript code snippets. That's the only thing I use here. So simply search for JavaScript here and see, I've installed this one, JavaScript ES6 code snippets. So that's what I want you guys to install. Install this and it will definitely work. And that's it. That's enough actually. Just this one, JavaScript code snippets by Charalampos Caripides, just to make sure that you install the correct one. This one, Charalampos Caripides, and that's it. It's enough. Okay, that's it. Now let's go ahead and let's start with it. Okay. And yes, if you guys want, you can definitely go ahead and use live server, but I'm not going to use live server because a lot of people don't use VS Code. So if you guys know about it, if you guys want to use it, you can definitely go ahead and use live server. But for this particular course, I'm not going to use it. Okay. So that everyone, even the people who are like doing it in their mobile phones or in Notepad or in some small software, they can also work with me. Sir, I am using Sublime. Can I skip this step? Yes, yes, Nixon, definitely, buddy. If you're using Sublime, you can skip this step. Not a problem at all. Okay. So now, guys, let's get started. So for that, first of all, let's create a simple folder. Have you used Tab9? Yes, I have used it. Yes, I have used it. In my previous computer, I was using it. But nowadays, I'm not using it. But yes, it's a good plugin. I have used it. I have used Tab9. Okay, everyone. So let's create a folder where we are going to store each and every of our file, whatever we create. And this is the folder that I'm going to share you on daily basis. So this is the folder that will be shared to you every day. So whatever I do, I'm going to do in this. Okay, so here we go. New folder. And let's call it like JS underscore essentials, something like that. Okay, so you can name it anything. I'm simply going to name it JS underscore essentials. And that's it. So here, are we covering the ES6? Yes, I'm going to follow the concept of ES6, and I'm also going to tell you the difference between ES5 and ES6. So don't worry. Okay. So here we go, guys. I have the folder JS Essentials, and let's open this folder in VS Code so that we can directly access and use it. So let's go ahead, File, Open Folder. Now it's on my desktop. So here we go. I go on my desktop, and here we go. We select our folder and open it. And that's it. So now the folder is opened here. And here you have all the options of creating a new file in this folder, creating a new folder in this folder, and refreshing the project if you need it. Like if you have downloaded some files and you can't see it in your folder, you can sometimes refresh and see if something reflects. So it's for some like it will be like really rare. You're gonna use it really like rarely, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes your VS Code loads slowly and some files don't load, so you can refresh and see. But that's fine, totally fine. These are the two options that you're gonna like use most of the times: creating a new file, creating a new folder. Okay, so now guys, let's move ahead and let's create a new file. And now we are working with JavaScript on the client side. That means we are working with JavaScript that will run in the browser environment. That means we need a HTML file. Without HTML file, we are not going to run our JavaScript, because we are not running JavaScript outside the browser. We are running JavaScript inside the browser. So we need a HTML file because we are running JavaScript on the client currently. Okay, as a client side. So let's go ahead. Let's create a new file and let's call it anything. So let's call it index.html. Here we have our file. Let me increase the font size, and that's it. So now I have my HTML file, and let's write the basic code, the boilerplate. So doc type HTML, then HTML. Okay, let me have it again. HTML, and then inside HTML, I'm going to have my head. And everyone, please tell me, can you guys see my font size? Everyone, just let me know once. Can you guys see my font size? Title, and that's it. I'll increase it one more because I think it's really small for YouTube. So let's go ahead. Yeah, I think this must be fine. It Node.js server side then? Yes, yes, Manas. Yes, exactly, buddy. See, first of all, like Node.js is a running environment. Okay, that means now JavaScript, you can, by installing Node.js, you can run JavaScript outside the browser. And now by that, you can use JavaScript for a server side purpose. So it's not like that Node.js is gonna like make your JavaScript server side. No. Now you can like Node.js is simply keep like taking your JavaScript outside the browser so that you can use it anywhere. But now it's up to you how you want to use it. Now you can use JavaScript as a server side language, or you can still use it like normally, just for some programming, what you say, programming basics or programming needs. It's totally up to you. Is that clear? So Node.js is simply helping you to run JavaScript outside the browser. And by that, now you can use JavaScript as a server side language. Okay, cool. So I hope you guys can see my font size. And now we are ready with our basic HTML page. And also, let's just simply go ahead and like write JS essentials. Okay. And I have my body. And let's run this page first of all. Right click. I'm going to copy the path. Just go in your browser. Any browser would be fine. Either you can go for like Chrome. Chrome is suggested. You can also go for Mozilla. Okay. Let's go ahead and run it. And here you go. You have simple, clean, plain area. Okay. Let me create an element here. So let me simply create a h1 element. So let's say h1 hello everyone. Okay, simple, easy. Let's go. Perfect. Now we have it. Now we are not here to directly learn HTML because we have already learned HTML in the last sessions, right? Now we know how to like write tags, how to write CSS and everything. Now we are here to learn JavaScript, and on the client side, JavaScript in the front end. That means we want to learn how JavaScript can help you to manipulate the DOM, to manipulate the HTML elements. This is what we have to learn. But before that, guys, before that, we also have to learn how JavaScript works as a programming language. So before directly moving on to like manipulating DOM with JavaScript, we're going to learn the basic programming constructs of JavaScript. So that is very important because that is always that is something that is common everywhere. Okay, if you learn the basic general principles, general programming principles of JavaScript, so now it doesn't matter whether you're like working using JavaScript in the server side or you're using JavaScript in a client side or in the front end. Doesn't matter. The basics, the core concepts of JavaScript are same everywhere. So the first thing that we're going to learn is we're going to learn all the basic programming constructs of JavaScript, like loops, arrays, which are same everywhere. And after that, we'll move ahead to something called as DOM manipulation, which is exclusive to the front end part of the JavaScript. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, so now let's go and let's start learning. So now, how to write JavaScript with HTML? How to write it? So it's really simple. So always be in your body tag. Like I'm showing you a good practice where to write JavaScript. So always be in your body tag. Okay, Akash is asking how to copy a path. I'll tell you. Simply right click, Akash, and here you go option, copy the path. So copy the path, go in your browser and simply go ahead and paste it. The next thing you can do is you can also like go in your folder and you can also like take your file, right click, and then open with anything you want. Simple. Open with Chrome, open with IE, open with Mozilla. It's totally up to you. Simple. Okay, so you can also do this because you're doing the exact same thing. You can also do this. Right click, copy the path, paste in your browser. That's it. Okay, everyone. So now, how to start writing JavaScript with HTML? And it's very simple. So always come down in your body tag at the end. So wherever you're going to end all your HTML elements, come down and write a script tag. Just like in CSS, you use a style tag, right? You go in your head, write a style tag, and inside that, you can write your CSS. So again, just come in your body tag. Remember, guys, always write your script at the bottom of the HTML. Okay. So end all your HTML and then only at the end you should write your script tag. Scripting should be always at the bottom of the HTML. This is like a good standard. This is like a good practice. Okay. So I have seen a lot of people putting their script in the head. That's not a good practice. You should never do it. Never put your script in head. It works. That's fine. But it's not a good practice because sometimes it may cause you like a few troubles. So always put your script tags at the bottom. Okay. Wherever you end your HTML. Fine. And now in between these script tags, you can actually start writing JavaScript. You can actually start writing JavaScript. Just like in between style tag, you can write CSS. In between script tags, you can write your JavaScript. Okay. So now here we're going to start with the basic programming principles of JavaScript. So first of all, we're going to learn the core concepts, the basic programming principles, so that whether going for server-side JavaScript or for front-end JavaScript, these things are going to be same. And after that, we'll learn the front-end exclusive JavaScript, that is DOM manipulation. Whether it can be written within body, yes, Divya, yes. Like that's a good practice. You should always write it inside the body. If you even write it outside the HTML, it will still work. But this is a good standard. This is a good practice. Always write it at the end of the body. Okay. Okay, guys. Now let's move ahead. Now, just like you go in any programming languages, okay? You go in any programming languages, the first thing that you learn there is how to print something, right? Whenever you go for like learning a programming language like C or C++ or any programming language, the first thing that you learn is how to print something. But in JavaScript case, it's a little different because JavaScript is showing you two things. First of all, I'm also a programming language. I follow all the basic constructs. Second of all, I also work with the web page, right? I also work with the web page. I can manipulate HTML elements, right? C is like a programming language, a complete programming language. JavaScript is a programming language as well as it's also going to help you to manipulate DOM. So it's doing two things, okay? So now, before starting with all of that, I want to introduce you guys to one more thing. So now, just go in your Chrome, right click, and just go on inspect. Okay, go on inspect. Now see guys, this white page is your web. This white page is your web. and we're going to use JavaScript to manipulate this white page. Don't worry about it. We're going to use JavaScript to manipulate all the elements that we create here. But right now, we are learning the basic programming principles. Okay, and we simply want to see basic outputs. We are not going to manipulate any web. We are not going to manipulate our DOM. We are not going to manipulate our elements. That means right now, we are not going to deal with this area, this body area, because we are not working with elements right now. Right now, we need something else where we can see our output, where we can see what JavaScript is doing for us. Okay, and for that, I have opened the developer tools. Okay, and in the developer tools, this is what we want right now, this area. Just go on console. Now, this is the area. Now, what is console actually? Console is just like a command prompt of the browser. Console is just like command prompt of the browser. And to do anything here, the language that you use is JavaScript. To do anything on the console, the language that you use is JavaScript. Simple. And for today's complete session, we're going to use this section as our output section. We're going to see all the JavaScript related output here. Okay? Because the language that you use to work on the console or handle the console is JavaScript. Is that clear, everyone? So currently, we're not going to work with this area. We are only going to work in the console area. For today's session, we're not going to deal with this. Tomorrow, we'll start with like how to work with this area, how to create elements here using JavaScript, how to remove elements, how to manipulate elements that are in this area using JavaScript. But today, only console. Okay. Now, in JavaScript, if you want to work with this console, there is an inbuilt object that you're going to use. Okay, so there is an inbuilt object that helps you to work with the console. There is an inbuilt object that helps you to work with the console. And the object name is simply console. And don't worry, right now, if you don't know anything about objects, don't worry about it at all, because in some days, we're also going to talk about objects. And then there, I'm going to show you a clear picture of how objects work, how objects look like. Right now, simply think of it like, fine, this is something that is already available. Just like you go in C, there's a printf function already available. You go in C++, there is something called a cout already available. When you go in Java, there is something called a system.out.println already available. So in the same scenario, we have a console object that is directly available in JavaScript that helps you to work with this area. Okay. And a console object has a function named log. So you simply write console.log, and that's it. And in between these brackets, you write whatever you want to print on this area. So log is a function that helps you to print anything on this area. Is that clear? So like, for example, console.log, let's say double quotes because we're writing string. Hello, everyone. Save it and let's see. And here we go. We have hello, everyone. You can add anything like hello, let's upgrade, something like that. Here we go. Again, there is a spelling mistake, but that's fine. I think you can simply don't think about it. Don't worry about the spelling mistake, guys. But you can see, right, what I'm saying you. So console.log is something that we're going to use a lot because it helps you to print anything on the console. Sir, does this browser only have the HTML and CSS like inbuilt, or our OS have? Only the browser. Only the browser, not our OS. No, not our OS. OS doesn't have anything related to JavaScript. Only the browser, because JavaScript is a browser dependent language. Now that like you have Node.js, you can also like take it outside the browser. But for now, JavaScript only browser dependent. Our OS doesn't support JavaScript. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, perfect. So we are going to use this console.log a lot. So now you know how to print something on the console. Okay, everyone, are we cleared, guys? Please tell me. Okay, so this is what you learn whenever you start with a programming language. But now, what is the next thing that you learn? You start learning about data. You start dealing with data. So now, guys, we're going to have data. Now, you guys tell me. So now, first of all, like before like asking a question, let me tell you, data means now you want to start writing programs, okay? And you need data to print, to calculate, to write, to do things. You need data. And whenever you need data, you need to store it somewhere. Because if you want to work with data, you have to store it in your computer memory, right? If you want to work with data for calculations or for display purposes, because in programming, data is one of the most important things. If you work with C or C++, you know that data is one of the most important things. You need it if you want to perform calculations, if you want to show some outputs, if you want to do anything, you need data, right? And if you want to work with data in a program, you need to store it in your computer memory. So what do we use to store data in our computer memory? Everyone, please tell me. I want this answer from you guys because you have already learned like some programming language like C or C++, right? So you guys tell me, what do we need that helps us to store data in our computer memory? Everyone, come on, tell me. What do we use? Everyone, to store data so that we can use it in our program, perform calculations, perform everything. What do we need? Everyone, please tell me, guys. Come on, everyone. Yes, yes, Rajat. Yes, if you want to put string, you need double quotes. Yes, buddy. Yes. Yes, now I can see the answer. Yes, everyone is saying variable. So yes, you guys are exactly correct, right? We need something called as variables to store our data temporarily so that we can simply use it for calculation purpose and for everything else. So what exactly is a variable? What exactly is a variable? So a variable is nothing but a temporary memory location. A variable is nothing but a temporary memory location that holds your data till the time your programming is running. And once your program is done, variable gets cleared away. So variable is nothing but what? It's a simple temporary memory location. Okay. Now, how do you create a variable? So that's what one of the important things that you learn whenever you start working with any programming language. How do you create a variable? How do you create that temporary memory location through your program, with your program? It's really simple. So in JavaScript, you simply name it, right? Like this. Just go ahead, write any name for that variable, write any identifier for that variable. For example, let me write num, something like this. The name then equals to any value that you want. So let's say 23, and that's it. So as soon as I do this, num equals to 23, internally, a memory location is registered for this num variable, and the value that is stored inside that location is 23. And now I can use this num anywhere I want to use this data. I want to use this 23. Simple. But now, if you have learned any other programming languages, you might know that, right? There is also a concept of data types. There is also a concept of what? Data types, like integer, string. For example, whenever you create variables, you also give type to the variables that specify which kind of data I can store in that variable, right? In some other programming languages, you have something like int, boolean, string, and everything, which helps you to specify a type, a data type for your particular variable that basically says which kind of data we are allowed to store in that variable. That's what a data type does. But in JavaScript, it's not like that. In JavaScript, you simply have something called as var. In JavaScript, you simply have something called as var. Simple. And var stands for variant. That means in this case, this num is not having any specific type. It's a variant type. That means if you put number, I'll become a number type. If you put string, I'll become a string type. If you simply put what do you say, boolean, I'll become boolean type. That means now my type depends on what kind of data you put in me. Is that clear, everyone? So that's what var is. So in just like in any other programming languages, you use int, boolean, string, and everything. Here you simply go for var. That's it. Don't worry about it, guys. A lot of people are saying me that we can use let. Yes, don't worry. But before that, I also want to explain you the difference between var and let. Is that clear, everyone? I also want to like tell you the difference between var and let. That's why we are starting with var, but in some time we'll also see let, because I want to tell you the difference between var and let and why basically in 2015 they introduced let and they told you to stop using var. I also want to tell you that. That's why I'm starting with var. I'm starting with the basics. Is that clear, everyone? And this is why JavaScript is also considered as a loosely typed language. That's why JavaScript is also considered as a loosely typed language. Because see, in other languages, you have a strict typing. You have to specify int, boolean, string, and that is the only data that you can pass. But in JavaScript, no. Just put var and pass any data you want. Pass 23, pass your name, pass a boolean value like true and false. It's totally up to you. I'll change my type internally. That's why it is also called a loosely typed language. JavaScript is also considered as a loosely typed language. Is that cleared, everyone? Are we cleared? Please tell me, guys. Are we cleared? Guys, are we cleared? So let me create a good variable. Like let's say var first name, something like this. Okay, so this is a variable, and let's store some good value in that. For example, like this. Let's say let's upgrade. Simple. And let me remove this now. Okay, so now I simply create, I have like created a variable in which the value is a string, that is let's upgrade, and now I want to print it. Okay, now there is nothing. Let me save it. Now I'm not printing anything. So now I want to print the variable's value on the console. Now I want to print the variable's value on the console. How can I do it? It's really simple. Just go in your console.log and write your variable name. And let's see. Here we go. Now we know how to print a variable on the console. Simple, console.log and your variable. And that's it. Simple, easy, clean. Is that clear, everyone? Now, okay, let me just close this sidebar so that you can see like the complete screen. Global variables. Don't worry, Swachan, don't worry. I'm also going to talk about that. Don't worry at all. Is that cleared? Swachan, don't worry. I'm also going to talk about global variables, so don't worry about it. So now, guys, now we know how to create a variable, and now we know how to simply print it on the console. But let's talk about something else as well. What if I also want to print some string with my variable? What if I also want to print some string with my variable? For example, let's say I want to print like this. The name is let's upgrade, something like this. I want to print some string with my variable. What can I do? So let's see how to do that. So let's say I write this, the name, like this, the name is, and now I want to write my variable because let's upgrade is stored in my variable. So I want to write the name is let's upgrade. So now I want to use this variable here. So how can I do it? How can I do it now? So now, can I write my variable name inside double quotes? No, you should never write your variable inside double quotes like this because it will not work. Now, it will consider this as a string and it will simply print first name on the console. So we can't do it. So what can we do then? Okay, fine. Can I simply write it outside? Yes, you should write it outside. But by this way, you cannot print string and variable together. This is not the correct way of printing string and variable together. No. So in this case, you have to go for something called as concatenation, or in simple words, joining. Joining both of them so that they can work together. So for that, in JavaScript, you simply use the plus operator. Simple. So it will basically join both of them. This plus is not for addition, guys. This is a concatenation operator in JavaScript. Okay, it is simply going to help you to join variable and string, or join two strings, or join two variables. Simple. So you can always go for this. So whatever is your string, put it inside double quotes plus your variable. So the name is, and then your variable. And let's see. Here we go, like this. The name is let's upgrade. Simple, easy. Now, let's say I have one more variable like this. Let's say I'm also putting age of let's upgrade. Okay. Preeti, what is the use of plus? Plus is simply used to join the variable and the string. Is that cleared? Is that clear, Preeti? What's the purpose of writing on the console? See, you cannot do everything on web directly because right now we have a blank page, but in future, here we might have a good looking website, and you can't do all your calculations and printing and everything on the web page directly because that will simply make your web page look bad. So you need some place where you can print something, where you can see what's the current value for debugging purposes. That's why you have this console. That's why you have this console where you can print something without disturbing your web page. Right now, our web page is completely clean. But let's say in future, our web page is like a good looking web page, and I want to disturb it. I want to print some variables and see how they are, like what values they are holding. I want to test it. I want to debug it. So in that case, this is the console. This is what is important. We can print everything here, and it's never going to disturb our web page. Is that clear, everyone? Are we understanding? Guys, are we understanding? So that's why we have this. Okay. So that's why we have console.log. That's why we use console, so that we can print anything without disturbing our web page. Simple. And remember this, guys. Plus is simply that is helping you to concatenate or join your string and variable so that we can print them together. Okay. Now, let me create one more variable. Okay. What is debugging? Janisha, in simple terms, debugging is checking your code, how it is working, is it having any problems, or if it is having any problem, on which line the problem is, what is the problem, what are the current values of my variables. That is what you call as debugging. Testing your code, how it is working, how is the flow, is what line is, like if there is an issue, what line of the code is causing the issue. Okay, that is what is debugging. Testing your code. Simple. Checking your code, how it is working. Okay, everyone. Now, let's say I have something like this. Let's say I also have an age variable. Let me put like 2. Now I also want to print this particular thing, this 2 in the same string, like this, and the age is 2. The name is let's upgrade and the age is 2. I want to print something like this. How can I do it? So again, it's simple, it's same. Now after this variable, I again want some string. So again, I'm going to simply put a plus. So it doesn't matter if you're putting a variable. If you want some string before the variable, you need plus. If you want some string after the variable, you still need plus. Okay, so plus, and then again my string, and the age is, and again I want to write a variable, right? So again plus, and then my age variable. Simple. So the name is plus first name, and the age is plus age. Simple. And here we go. See, the name is let's upgrade and the age is 2. So what is console and why we use Aruna? It's simple. Console is just like a CMD of your browser. It's a place where you can write JavaScript, test JavaScript, okay, without disturbing your web page. It's one of the most important tools in the browser that helps you to write your JavaScript, test it without disturbing your web page. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, so that's how you write variables and strings together. But there is another way of doing it. There is another way and a much cleaner way of doing the exact same thing. So for a lot of time, this was the only way of writing JavaScript, sorry, of writing variables and strings together. But now we have some other ways which are pretty cool, good looking, and simple. So I'm also going to tell you that, because this particular way of writing the string and variable together can be messier if you have a large collection of variables and a very big string. Everyone, please focus now. Focus what I'm saying. This way is good for single lines, for 2-3 things, for 2-3 variables. But when you have a large collection of variables, when you have a large string, and when you want to like generate some HTML with this string, when you want to write multiple lines of string, then this practice like creates a lot of mess. And for that thing, you have some other way of doing it. You have one more way of doing it that makes like it easier for you to write multiple variables and multiple lines of strings together. So let's see the next way of doing it. Let's see the next way of doing it, guys. So the next way is you can simply use templating. You can simply use something called as templating. And to use templating, you have to use the backtick, which is I think just above your tab key in your keyboard and just before your 1 key in your keyboard on the left side. This one. This is what we call as backtick. Now we are using this instead of double quotes. Now we are using this instead of double quotes for writing our string. So I can write it like this. The name is same. We are using this instead of double quotes. But there's one more benefit now. Now you can use templating to print variables. That means now if I decide I want to print a variable here, I don't have to go outside and write plus. I can write my variables inside the backticks. But how? You have to use this syntax, dollar curly braces. Templating syntax, simple. It's a syntax that JavaScript understands. You don't have to understand what dollar is doing, what curly braces is doing. It's a simple way of like making JavaScript understand that this is a variable. Inside this templating string, this is a variable. And that's it. Name. And then let's say, and the age is, again, I want to put a variable. Simple. Dollar, curly brace, and my variable. And that's it. So all of the string will be inside backticks. And wherever you feel you want to put a variable, just use dollar curly brace and your variable. By that, JS will identify that this is a string, this is a variable. This is a string, this is a variable. By this dollar curly brace, JS actually identifies that, okay, fine, this is a variable. I have to find a value for it. Is that clear? And this is like a templating syntax of creating strings, like putting strings and variables together. Is that clear? And this is a much more better way, because first of all, that plus thing and double quote thing is gone. You don't have to take care of closing the double quotes, opening the double quotes, writing plus. You don't have to take care of it. Second thing, now you can also go for multiple lines. It will not cause any issue. You can also go for multiple lines. This causes issue when you go for multiple lines. This will never cause the issue. Just open it, close it, and then write 10 lines, doesn't matter. Is that clear, everyone? Yes, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, my variable name is first name. I forgot that. Here we go. First name. Thank you so much, Divya. Yeah, it was first name. So is that clear, everyone? Now, if you see, the output is still same, but now it works perfectly fine. Is that clear, everyone? So this is something that I would suggest you guys to use. From now on, I'm only going to use this way of writing my strings instead of this double quotes way. For smaller things, you can go for this, but I think this is much more better and cleaner. Is that clear, everyone? So this is the templating syntax in JavaScript that helps you to write strings and variables together. And it's a lot cleaner, easier, and helpful in multiple lines. Okay, so that's the basic. Now, I really hope you're cleared with the concept of variables. I really hope you're cleared with the concept of what you call how to print things on the console. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, guys, are we cleared? Everyone, please tell me, are we cleared with this? Because now we're going to move on to something called as operators. Then we also have to cover conditions, and then we also have to cover loops. These are the things that I'm planning to cover today. Is that clear, everyone? These are the things that I'm planning to cover. So we still have like almost 45 minutes, so we can cover everything. So are we cleared, guys? Everyone tell me, are we cleared with everything till now? Okay, that is amazing. But why this? Lokesh, see, like you can ask the same question, why do we have double quotes then? It's simple. It's simply for identification so that JavaScript understands what you're using. Simple thing like JavaScript, when you write var, JavaScript understands that you're creating a variable. When you write console, JavaScript understands that you're trying to use the console object. So when you write backtick, JavaScript understands that, okay, fine, here you're going to write a string that can have variables. You're using templating. So everything is for understanding, right? So why backtick? That is what they decided to use for this purpose. So that's it. That's it. But yeah, if you're asking like why do we are using backtick? For templating. Simple. Is that clear? Okay, guys. So now let's move ahead. And now let's move to the next important thing. Now we know how to create variables. Now we know how to print it on the console. Okay. Now let's move ahead and let's talk about something called as operators. Okay. Because see, guys, right now we are learning JavaScript, but we are basically focusing on the basics of programming. So whatever I'm teaching you right now is the basics of programming. You go in C, C++, everywhere the concepts like this are same. Okay. Okay, everyone. How do we concat HTML tags? Don't worry, Kalyan. Don't worry. When we start with DOM manipulation, I'll show you how to concat HTML and variables together. Don't worry about it. Okay, Kalyan? Don't worry about it. In some time, maybe we'll see that. Maybe by tomorrow, we'll start learning that. So don't worry about it. Okay, guys. Now let's move ahead. So now we know how to create data. We know how to print it. But what about calculation? Now, what if I want to start calculation? I want to add my things. I want to subtract my things, right? I want to compare my things. What about that? So for that particular things, we have a concept of operators in any programming language. For comparison purposes, for calculation purposes, for assignment purposes, we have something called as operators that perform you to help, sorry, that help you to perform operations like calculation operations, comparison operations, assignment operations. Okay, so we have something called as operators that help you to perform operations like calculations, comparisons. So now let's see how many operators we have. So guys, see, we have a lot of operators in JavaScript. We have a lot of different kinds of operators in JavaScript that help you to perform operation. But based on how they work, based on how they work, they are divided into different categories. Smith is asking what is concat? Concat, Smith, basically means joining them together. That's it. Joining. Simple. Is that cleared? Joining the strings, joining string and variables. So joining them together is what we say, what we call as concat. Is that clear, Smith, buddy? So concat is like just a good word for joining. That's it. Okay. So now, guys, as I was telling you that in JavaScript, we have a lot of operators, and based on how they work, they are divided into multiple categories. Okay. So now let's write down the categories and let's see how they work. Okay. So the first category that you have is this: binary operators. And after this, you don't have to like go for any operator tutorial. I'm going to tell you about each and every kind of operator here. Okay. So you have binary operators. Now, what are binary operators? Binary operators are the operators that require two operands to work. Example, plus. You need something here like 1. You need something here like 2. It needs two operands. Operands are something that help, that work with the operators. So it's like this, I see. This whole thing is an operation. This plus is an operator. And this 1 and 2 are the operands. Operands are nothing but like on which the operators work. Simple. Okay, guys? So don't worry about it. So binary operators are the kind of operators which at least require, or which only require two. two operands to work on. Okay. And then you also have something called as unary operators. Okay. Which simply require single operand. Don't worry, I'm also going to give you examples. So unary operators are the kind of operator which only require single operands. And then you have something called as ternary operators, which require three operands. And we're also going to see that. Don't worry, we're also going to see that. So you have binary operators, you have unary operators, and you have ternary operators. Okay. And now we're going to see what kind of operators we have and how they work. Okay. So let me just comment these two out. Okay. So now let's go ahead and let's see what kind of things we have in binary operators. Now again, in the binary operator category, we have a lot of operators because 90% of the operators work with two operands. So they fall under the binary operator category. So again, based on how they work, it is divided. So we have a lot of operators in binary category, and again, based on how they work, they are divided into different categories. So the first category here you have is the arithmetic operators. Okay, don't worry about the spelling, guys. So the arithmetic operators, which are simply used for calculation purposes, like plus, minus, right? Multiplication, divide, modulus. These are the examples of arithmetic operators. So let's test it out. Okay. So let me create two variables here. We're going to use these two variables for all our testing. Let's go ahead and let's say var. Let's do it real quick because it's going to be really easy. Okay. So let's not waste a lot of time on this. But yes, we're going to cover everything. So don't worry. We are going to cover everything. So var, let's call it num1 equals to 34. One more variable var num2 equals to 45, something like that. Okay. So let's test all these operators out real quick. So let's go console.log. Let's use the first one. Now you know already what they're going to do. So if I write num1 plus num2, I'm simply using the plus arithmetic operator, which is simply going to add them. Let's see. For all the new people, you have to understand this. Here we go. We have 79, which is nothing but 34 plus 45. If I simply do num1 minus num2, let's do the basic math. Here we go, minus 11. We know that because num1 is smaller, right? So 34 minus 45 is minus 11. You can also do this. Num2 minus num1. Normal. Here we go. Simple 11. So it's very normal, right? You can also do this. Num1, num2 multiplied by num1. Like 45 multiplied by 34. What do you get? You get 1530. Simple. And you can also perform the division like this. Here we go. 1.3235 and so on. So this is the quotient. This is the quotient, guys. You know it. Whenever you perform division, you get two things. One is the quotient, one is the remainder. These are the two things you get. You get quotient, you get remainder. So this is the quotient. Slash will always give you the quotient. And then you have something called as modulo. This percentage symbol is like called modulo while calculation. And what it does, it gives you the remainder. So slash and modulo both perform division. One gives you quotient, one gives you remainder. This will give us the remainder. Let's see. Here we go. 11 is the remainder. That's fine. Not a problem at all. It's correct. You don't have to worry about it. It's perfectly correct. You can do it in your book and you can find it out. Okay, everyone. So these are the arithmetic operators that we're going to use for basic calculations. And I really hope that everyone understands this because these are the most basic kind of operators. Okay. Now, the next one that we have here is this category, the assignment operator category. Okay, so let me just write OP. That's it. The assignment operator. And again, there is a spelling mistake, but don't worry about it. Okay, I'm just trying to write it too fast. It's totally fine. That means we can write console syntax multiple times in a single document. Yes, definitely, Astha. Definitely, yes. As many times as you need. It's totally fine. Okay, guys. So now we have the next category, that is the assignment operator. Okay, assignment operator. The examples are equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to, multiplied equal to, divide equal to, and modulo equal to. These are the examples of assignment operator. What is assignment operator? Something that helps you to assign values to variables. Something that helps you to assign values to variables. For example, you can see this one. This equal to is already that we are using. This is the assignment operator. It is helping you to assign 34 to num1. Again, here it is helping you to assign 45 to num2. So it is simply helping you to assign values to variables. Is that clear? So you've already seen equal to, but we also have to understand plus equal to, minus equal to. So let's see how it works. Okay. So let me do this, guys. Please focus, everyone. Let me do this. See, I do this. Num1 plus equal to num2. Okay. And let's print num1. So let's try to understand what's actually going to happen here. Mohammed Faiz, buddy, what is your doubt? Can you tell me what is your doubt, buddy? Mohammed, I didn't see your chat, buddy. So sorry. What's your doubt? Can you tell me what is your doubt? Okay. Just tell me your doubt, Mohammed. Okay, guys. So now here we have num1 plus equal to num2. To simplify it, how it works, let me write it. It works like this. Num1 equals to num1 plus num2. This is the breakdown. This is the breakdown of this plus equal to. So whenever you write a variable plus equal to another variable, it goes like this. That means, fine, add both of these, and whatever is the result, store it in the variable that is on the left side. So this is the breakdown. Add both of them, num1 plus num2, and then store it in the variable that is on the left side. So this is the breakdown of plus equal to. So always remember, if you write num, like let's say variable 1 plus equal to variable 2, it will simply be variable 1 plus variable 2. Whatever you get, store it again in the variable 1. Same for minus equal to, same for multiply equal to, same for slash equal to, same for modulo equal to. It will perform the operation on both the variables. Whatever result you get, it will store in the left side variable. Simple. To check it, let's go and print num1. So now we should get 45 plus 34. Let's see. Inside num1, here we go. We again get 79. But that is the value of num1 because we added both of them and stored the value inside num1. Is that clear, everyone? So that's how they are like divided. That's how this is like the breakdown. Is that clear, everyone? So simple. Again, yes, Preeti, I'll repeat it. See, plus equal to means first add both of them, then whatever result you get, simply put it inside the left side variable. That's it, because assignment always works from right to left. So add both of them and simply put it in the left side of the variable. Is that clear, everyone? What is the difference between Java and JavaScript? They are totally different languages. They are two different languages. That's it. So Java is also a language. JavaScript is also a language. Is that clear? You cannot compare them because they have their own unique features and both of them are like good programming languages. Is that clear? Are we cleared? Are they also called shorthand operators? Yes, you can also call them shorthand operators. So first of all, they are assignment operators. They are considered assignment because they perform operations and assign. But yeah, you can also call them like shorthand because you can see you're doing this 3 thing inside this 2 shortcut thing. Okay. So instead of writing the 3 variables, you're only writing it in 2 variables, in 2 operands. So that's how it's working. That's how it is working. Is that cleared, everyone? Guys, are we cleared? So I think you can understand how minus equal to works, how multiply equal to works, how slash equal to and modulo equal to works. First, perform the operation, then whatever result you get, put it in the left variable. Okay, guys, are we cleared? Everyone? Okay. Fine. And yes, I'll also tell you the minus equal to. So let me just put minus equal to. Sorry. Minus equal to. So now it will first of all subtract them, and then whatever you get, it will put inside num1. So now inside num1, we should have minus 11. Simple. Easy. That's how these operators work. And here we go. Simple. And if you're not comfortable with this, you can simply go for this way. Num1 equals to num1 minus num2 because it is one of the most used operations. In future, in your programs, you're going to use this logic a lot of times where you perform some operation and store it in the same variable. You're going to use this operation a lot. That's why this is really important to understand. Okay. Now, either you can do it like this, or if you're not comfortable with this, you can also go for this if you find this easy. Simple. Okay. Now, let's remove it because now that we know how assignment operators work, let's move on to the next one. That is one of the most important, relational or comparison operators. So the next category, guys, in binary is relational or comparison operators. These operators are basically used to compare the data. Arithmetic was for calculation, assignment was for assignment, relational are for comparisons. Relational is simply for comparison of data. So you have this greater than, equal to, less than, less than equal to equal to, and not equal to. So these are some operators that you have in your relational category. And these are the operators that you can use for comparison. So now let's see how they work. Okay, everyone, let's see how they work. What is the use of writing this in console? What? Jita, what exactly is your doubt? Can you tell me? What exactly is your doubt? Okay, everyone, so let's move ahead now. Okay, and someone is asking difference between equal to and double equal to. You'll see it. Now you know what is equal to, right? Equal to is for assignment. Now you'll also see what is double equal to. So let's try to understand that as well. So guys, see, now these are comparison operators. So now again, we have two variables. And now let's compare these two variables. And remember guys, the output of comparison operations is always Boolean. It's either going to be true or it's going to be false. That means either the comparison will be correct or the comparison will be incorrect. So the output of this relational comparisons, relational operators, relational operations will always be going to be Boolean. That means either it's going to be true or it's going to be false. Simple. So for example, let's do it. Console.log num1 less than num2. Compare these two, num1 less than num2. I'm doing this. So let's see what is happening here. Mohammed, I didn't see your doubt, buddy. Tell me your doubt first. I'm seeing your chat. Tell me your doubt. You're just saying I'm not replying. Tell me your doubt, buddy. I can't see your doubt here. Mohammed, can you tell me your doubt, buddy? So now guys, see, I have two variables, num1 and num2, and I'm simply using this less than operator. So num1 less than num2. So now if you see it, 34 less than 45. This is what I'm writing, right? Because num1 is 34, num2 is 45. So I'm simply writing 34 less than 45. So yes, this is actually correct. So we should get what? We should get true as our output. Simple. If I try greater than, should get what? False. If I try less than or equal to. Now what is less than equal to? It's simply less than or equal to. So either it should be less than num2 or it should be equal to num2. In both cases, it will be true. So in this case, it's true because it is less than num2. And then you, in the same case, you have greater than equal to. But now the important one is equal to equal to. The important one is equal to equal to. And what is equal to equal to? Equal to equal to is simply for comparison. For not like for equality comparison. To check if both of them are equal. Is that clear? Is to check if both of them are equal. So let's see. In this case, we should get false because 34 is not equal to 45. We're false. If I go here and make them both same like this, 45. Now both are 45. So now I'm checking 45 is equal to 45. Let's see. True. Perfect. Now remember guys, for all the new people here, don't get confused between equal to and double equal to. In normal world, you use equal to for comparison. But in programming world, equal to you use for assignment. But you cannot use the same operator for some other purpose, right? That's why they have introduced something called as double equals. So don't get confused, guys. Equals is for assignment. Double equals is for comparison, for equality comparison, if they are same or not. Is that clear? And then you also have something called as not equal to. That is, it will simply check if both of them are not equal. So now both of them are equal, so they should be false. I'm checking, check if num1 is not equal to num2. But we know that they are equal. So we should get false. Is that clear, everyone? So this is how you use relational operators. They are simply comparison operators. Okay. Now I can see a lot of people are asking about triple equal to. Don't worry. I have got you covered. I'm also going to tell you that. So don't worry about it. Don't worry. Okay. Now, for every other language, these relational operators are enough, but not with JavaScript. Because now you know that JavaScript is a loosely typed language. JavaScript is a loosely typed language. That means the type of data normally doesn't matter. So let's see what is the problem. What is the problem of that loosely typing? What is the problem of that? Let's see, guys. So now let me do this. See, everyone, please focus. Please focus, guys. Please focus. Let's say my num1's value is 45, but it's a string. And my num2's value is 45, but it's a number. So they are same. They look same. But the difference is this is an actual number and this is not a number. It just looks like a number, but it's not a number. Is that clear? It just looks like a number, but it is not a number. So let's see if our double equal to can identify this. Let's see if our double equal to can identify this. Now, normally, for every other programming language, this should be false because they are strictly typed. You cannot compare a string and a number. In other languages, you simply can't compare a string and a number because they are strictly typed. They will directly give you issues. You cannot compare these two like variables because one is string and one is number. But let's see what is happening in JavaScript. Let's see, everyone. For JavaScript, it is true. For JavaScript, remember, double equal to only checks if they look same. If they look same, perfect. They are correct. I don't care if the type is same or not. I don't care if one is string or one is number. I don't care about it. And that's why to solve this issue, we have something called as triple equal to. That works like double equal to for from other languages, because in JavaScript double equal to is not working perfectly. So that's why you have triple equal to. That checks whether if they are looking same. Also it checks if their type is same, like all the other languages. So save it. Now it's false because now it checks. Okay, fine, they look same, but their type is not same. Is that clear? So you also have triple equal to that comes under the category called as identity operators. That's why these are called as identity operators. Triple equal to and not double equal to. So that you can check for lookalikes as well as types. Is that clear? So instead of going for these two, always go for these two. Is that clear, everyone? Instead of going for these two, always go for these two. Never go for normal double equal to. It can cause some problems. What if your data that you receive comes as a string? It will still be true. You don't want that, right? Your calculation will like be very wrong in that case. So that's why you should go for this identity operators. Are we cleared, everyone? And yes, Kaushal, tell me your doubt, buddy. Kaushal is saying I have a doubt. Can you tell me a doubt, buddy? Go ahead, ask me a doubt. Okay. So everyone, are we cleared with this? Guys, are we cleared? Please tell me so that we can move ahead. Guys, now let's move on to one of the last categories that fall under binary operators, and those are logical operators. Okay, now we have a category inside binary that is logical operators. Okay, but before we move ahead, everyone, are we cleared with all the operators till now? I want everyone to answer. And Kaushal, you can start your ask your doubt, buddy. And Mohammed, I still didn't see your doubt. So can you tell me what is the question that you're asking? Okay. Okay, guys. So now let's move ahead and let's talk about the logical operators. Okay. So in this scenario, like in this particular category, you simply have like three of them. Is and, you write it like and, then you have or, then you have not. So these are the three logical operators that you have. These are the three logical operators that you have in JavaScript. This is called as and, but you write it using two and symbols. This is called as or, and this is called as simple not. Okay. Now, how they work? So they work exactly what their name implies, logical. Now, have you ever worked with logic in your maths? Remember, guys, that true, false, true and false. Do you remember that, guys? Everyone, do we remember that? Sir, once again explain identity. Yes, okay, I can see a lot of people asking about identity. See, guys, simple, everyone. See, if I use double equal to, everyone please focus. I think it's simple, but not a problem. Let's see. If I use double equal to, for double equal to, string 45 and number 45 are same. So double equal to doesn't check for type. It only checks if they are looking same. Right? So it can cause a lot of problems in future if your data is of wrong type, but it's still looking same. It works for double equal to. That's why we have something called as triple equal to. It checks if they look same as well as it checks if their type is same. So in this case, if I compare both of these, it will be false because the first 45 is a string 45. Is that clear? So that's how you go for triple equal to, and that falls under identity operator. Identity operators are just like normal equal and not equal operation, but it's just that they also check for types. Let me write it here. They also check for type or data type, whatever you call it. Is that cleared, everyone? Is that cleared, guys? They simply check for typing. That's it. They work like normal equals and not equals, but normal equals and not equals don't check type. But these two will check type, These two will also check if they look like, if they're looking same or not looking same, and they will also check the type. I hope everyone is cleared here. Is that cleared, guys? Are we cleared with this? Okay. Not double equal to is exactly like not equal to. It will simply check for if they are not equal, but also with type. Is that cleared? Okay. So now, guys, let's move ahead and let's talk about the logical operators. And they do exactly what we have learned in normal mathematics about logics. So if you have like true and true, it is true. If like you've learned it, right? If you have true and true, it is simply true, right? If it is true and false, it is simply false. If it is true, no, sorry. Yeah, if it is true or true, it is simply true. And if it is true, sorry, if it is false or false, it is again false. And also, if it is true or false, it is true. So these were the logic, guys, right? These were the basic logics, true and true. So for and, if both are true, I'll be true. The whole thing will become true. If one is false, the whole thing will become false. And for or, if any one of it is true, it's true. For or, both should be false, then only it will become false. So these were the basic logics, right? And that's what applies to this and or. That is what applied to this and or. And don't worry about not. We're going to talk about it. Not is just like opposite. So don't worry about it right now. Just think about this and or. So these and or work exactly like this. So for and, if both are true, then only the complete thing will become true. And for or, if any one of it is true, the whole thing will become true. So this and or basically help you to write multiple comparisons. This and or basically help you to write multiple conditions. Okay. So now let's see. Let's see everyone. Okay. For example, let's say you have this condition. Okay. Let's say you have this condition, and let me just convert it to number again. And let me have one more variable. Okay. Let me have one more variable here. 35, 45. And let's say I have one more num3, that is 55. Okay. Now guys, let's see. So let's say I want to write multiple conditions. I want to write two conditions. Okay. So I want to write like this: num1 less than num2. And I want to write one more condition. I want one more condition. So if you want to write one more comparison, for that you have to write your logical operation so that you can like compile the whole statement at once like this. And num2 is less than num3. So now this is the first comparison that you have, and this is the second comparison that you have. And this whole statement should become true or false depending on how they work. So now you guys tell me, in this case, num1 is 35. Let me grab this variable and put it at the bottom so that you can see everything at once. See now, in this case, num1 is less than num2. Yes, true. And num2 is less than num3. Yes, true. So it is true and true. So this whole thing will become true. Let's see. Here we go. We simply get true. Amazing. Now, let's say here I write this. Now, num1 is less than num2. Yes, true. And num2 is greater than num3. No, false. So now I have true and false. So the whole condition, the whole comparison statement should become what? False, because it is true and false. So let's see. Here we go. Now the whole thing is false. Simple. It's the exact same logic, this one. So if both are true, and will give true. If one of it is true, or will give true. If one of it is false, and will give false. That means for and, both of them should be true. And for or, even one is true, it's fine. Remember it, guys. So let's talk about or here. Let's say or. Now see, I'm putting or. So now, num1 less than num2. True. Or num2 greater than num3. False. But now it's or. So true or false. It should be true, right? Because it's or. Let's see. Here we go. It's true. Is that cool, everyone? Are we understanding? So that's how these operators will help you. Simple. That's how these operators will help you when you want to write multiple conditions in a single statement. When you want to write two conditions, three conditions in a single statement, that's where these logical operators will help you so that you can like consider all the multiple conditions as a big statement to get a final output as true or false. That's where these logical operators help you. Is that clear, everyone? Are we cleared? Guys, are we cleared with this? And now finally, let's talk about this one. Not. Not is simply like reverse, opposite. For example, see this one. Console.log, I write true. Simple. Let's say I simply write true. Write true. It can be any output, but I'm simply writing true. Okay. Here we go. It's true. Perfect. If I simply go ahead and put not in front of it, here we go. It simply becomes false. So not is simply for reversing. So if it is true, not will make it false. If it is false, not will make it true. Simple. So not is simply for reversing. That's all. Simple. Not true is false. Not false is true. Simple. Is that clear, everyone? So that's how the logical operators actually work. Simple, 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 and easy. And now we are done with the first category, the biggest category, that is the binary operators category. Is that clear, everyone? Now, let's move ahead to the next one, and let me also comment these variables out. Now we don't need them. They helped us a lot to understand all these operators. So now let's move ahead and let's see the next one. That is unary. And no need to worry because there are only two operators. No, you cannot consider not as a unary operator because Anirudh, in this case, I directly wrote the output. But in future, it can be a big condition. Yes, but I think you can also consider it like a unary operator because sometimes you simply write one single thing there. Okay, but sometimes, like, see, you can also write something like this, right? Not num less than num2. It depends on the output of this now. So yes, in some cases, you can consider it like a unary operator, but it is not considered. It is mostly considered as a logical operator. Is that clear? So yeah, it works with a single operand sometimes because it is directly working with the final output true or false, but it is mostly considered in the category of logical operators because it works with the Boolean values like true and false. Okay, fine. Now let's move ahead and let's see unary, and it will be like really simple section, really small section, because there are only two unary operators, which are plus plus and minus minus. Okay, plus plus and minus minus. Now, as their name says that they are unary operators, that means they only work with a single operand. For example, like this. Let's have a variable called like this, var a equals 1. Okay, and then I create a variable called var anything like p equals plus plus a. Okay, so I write plus plus, I use my plus plus operator, and then I write a. And then finally, let's go ahead and print console.log b. Okay, now plus plus a simply means increment the a. Plus plus will simply increment the a by 1. When I say increment, it will simply increase the value by 1. So plus plus will always increase the value of a variable by 1. Always remember it. Let's not do this complex thing. Let's simply do this a plus plus. That's it. And let's print a here. So see, initially when I created a, the value was 1. Then I said a plus plus. Now see guys, you can either do like plus plus a, or you can also perform a plus plus. Both will increment a. But there's one difference that I'll tell you in some time. Don't worry. That's why I removed that complex operation. First, I would like to tell you plus plus. Now remember, plus plus a or a plus plus doesn't matter. Both will increment the a by 1. Then what is the difference? I'll tell you in some time. But first of all, let's see this. So I write a plus plus, and then I'm simply going to print it. Let's see. So initially a is 1, then I do a plus plus, which should simply increment the value of a by 1. So let's see. And here we go. A is 2, because this line incremented the value of a by 1. And the same case, if I perform minus minus, and again you can perform minus minus a or a minus minus. Okay, remember it will simply decrement the value by 1. It will simply decrease the value by 1. So remember, plus plus minus minus both only work with 1. Either it will decrease by 1 or increase by 1. So in this case, let's see. Now the value of a should be 0. Here we go. It is 0. Now, okay, let's also do this minus minus a. Let's see. Till 0. That means minus minus a or a minus minus doesn't matter. Both are decrementing and both will increment. But then, why do we have two ways? Why do we have two ways? What is the difference? Let's see that. Now, let's say you're performing a big operation. Everyone, please focus. This is one question that is asked in basic interviews. So please focus, everyone. So now let's say you're doing something like this. You're passing the values like this. where b equals to plus plus a. Where b equals to plus plus a. That means now you have a big operation going on. You're performing an assignment operation as well as you're performing an increment operation. So now how they work? So remember, whenever you use plus plus or minus minus before the variable, it is called as pre-increment or pre-decrement. And whenever you use plus plus or minus minus after the variable, it is called as post-increment or post-decrement. Simple, right? So if it is after, it's post. If it is before, it is pre. But how they work now? So remember, whenever you're performing a big operation and you're using a pre-increment, remember in that operation, the increment happens first and then the assignment will happen. So in this case, I'm doing b equals to plus plus a. That means now first a will increment itself. So a will become 2 and then that 2 will be assigned to b. So if I print a and b both, we should get 2 and 2 because a is incrementing by 1. Perfect. And then whatever incremented value was there, it was also transferred to b. Here we go. We get 2 and 2. What if I perform post increment? What happens here then? So remember, whenever you perform post increment in an operation, in a big operation, in that case, operation will happen first. In this case, assignment, and then increment happens. In this case, first A's initial value will be passed to B. That means B will also become 1. And then A will increment itself. A will become 2. So in this case, B will be 1 and A will be 2. Let's see. Here we go. A is 2 and B is 1. Simple. Remember, inside an operation, if it is post increment, operation happens first, then increment. Inside operation, if it is pre-increment, increment happens first and then operation. Simple. Is that cleared, everyone? Guys, are we cleared with this? Everyone. You don't have to get confused. See, these are the things, like these kind of operations, you're going to use it very rarely. But remember, see, what will happen in this case? Okay, fine. For all the people who are still confused, see, this is confusing. I know that. Okay, but let's talk about it again. I'll explain you. If you perform b equals to a, that means you're simply passing the value of a in b. If I perform plus plus a, now I'm performing two operations here. One is the pre-increment, second is the assignment. Okay, everyone, focus now. One is the pre-increment, second is the operation, the big operation, that is the assignment. So in this case, so whenever you're using pre-increment or pre-decrement, the increment happens first and then the operation. So in this case, first A will increment. So A is 1, A will become 2, and then A will be assigned to B. That means now the value of A is 2 and it is getting assigned to B. So B will also become 2. So in this case, A and B both were 2. But if I perform post increment like A plus plus, so in this case, first operation will happen first and then the increment. If it is post increment, remember guys, operation happens first and at the very end, the increment happens. That means now, if I'm doing B equals to A plus plus, plus plus will happen at the last. That means A is still not incremented. So the value of A will be assigned to B. That means it is not incremented. So A is still 1 and it is passed to B. So B is also 1. But at the end, A is getting incremented. So A will become 2, but B is still 1. And that's why we get 2 and 1. Okay, so that's how this works. And these are the two operators that are under Unary. So don't worry about it right now. Is that clear? That's it. Simple, easy, understandable. And don't worry about ternary. I'll explain this to you tomorrow, because before that, I also want to tell you something else. Okay, so ternary, wait for it. But I'll at least tell you the operators, how they look like. So it looks like this: question mark and colon. It looks like this, guys. Ternary operator looks like this, but how they work, I'll tell you tomorrow. Why? Because you will understand it better once we are completed with conditional operations. Is that cleared? Prithvi, what is your doubt, buddy? I can't see your chart. I just saw your chart, buddy. Can you tell me your doubt, Prithvi Mandalia? Prithvi, can you tell me what is your doubt, buddy? I didn't see your chat. I'm so sorry for that. Chats are going like very quickly on the top, so I think I missed it. But I'm just checking it. I can't see I can't see your doubts, buddy. Can you tell me your question again, buddy? Prithvi, can you tell me a question? See, guys, everyone, if I don't see any of your questions, I'm so sorry for that, because chats go up really quickly. And I think you know that. So if I miss any of the questions, write the question again, so that if I see it for the next time, I can see it, or write it for the third time or fourth time. Is that clear? So that I can see your question. So instead of writing, please reply to the query, or you're not checking my question, or not replying to me, write your question again so that I can directly see the question, so that I don't have to ask it again. Is that clear, everyone? Prithvi, that are like just, it's just like two knots, right? If you use it like that, it's just two knots. And I think people use it very rarely. I don't think people use it normally. You're never gonna even like, you're simply never gonna need it normally. Is that cleared? Let and var में difference बताऊंगा technical. Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. I'll also tell you the difference between let and var. Don't worry. Okay. Okay, guys. So in some time I'll tell you the difference. Now, everyone, we're almost about time. But before going ahead, I want to like teach you something else. I want to teach you about the basics of conditional statements. So everyone, can we move ahead now? Okay. So ternary operator will cover it tomorrow. Don't worry. But before that, I want to teach you the next topic that is very easy and very simple. That is conditional statements. And it will be really simple to understand because you have already learned something about it. You have already learned something about it. Now, what is a conditional statement? What exactly is a conditional statement? Okay. So a conditional statement is a statement where you write some code, but you don't want that code to execute by default. Okay. You want that code to execute based on some condition. For example, you write some code. Okay. Now in this case, see, you write any code, everything executes. You write 10 lines of code, all the 10 lines will execute. But let's say you want to write a code that executes based on some condition. For example, if this happens, then only this code should execute. Otherwise, this code should not execute. That means now you want your code to execute based on some condition, based on the outcome of some other thing. That's what we call as a conditional statement. Is that clear? That's what we call as a conditional statement. When you try to execute some code based on the outcome of some other statement. Okay. So that's how you write a conditional statement. And it is one of the most important aspects of programming, because a lot of time you need to like execute your code based on some condition. Okay. A lot of times, for example, let's say Facebook has a code of taking you to the login page. Just an example for you guys, for all the newcomers. Facebook takes you to the login page, but based on a condition, only if your username and password is correct. So there is a condition. If the username and password are correct, then only Facebook will take you to the login page. Otherwise, it will simply give you error. Your username is and password are incorrect. So username and password is a condition. It checks it if both are correct, and only if they are correct, the code of taking you to the login page works. So that code is depending on the outcome of checking the username and password. So that is one example of conditional statement. Is that clear, everyone? That is one example. So there are a lot of like requirements of conditional, like there will be a lot of requirements of conditional statement when you also start writing programs and code, because there are a lot of codes that you want to execute based on conditions. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's see how to start writing that in JavaScript. Now, first of all, for that, you need something really important. You need something called as a condition. You need something called as a condition. You need to learn how to write a condition, but you have already learned it. You have already learned it, because condition is nothing but comparison. Condition is nothing but a comparison, right? And you have already learned it. You have seen these operators, right? You have seen these comparison operators. So you have already learned how to compare things. So basically, a condition is nothing but whenever you want to perform something based on a comparison, based on a comparison's outcome. So if the comparison's outcome is true, I want to perform this. If the comparison's outcome is false, I want to perform this. Because you have already seen, right? A comparison's outcome is either true or false. So if the comparison's output is true, do this. If the comparison's output is false, do this. And that's is what you call as a conditional statement. Okay. So let's do it now. But now, how to start writing it? How to exactly write a conditional statement? How to exactly write a conditional statement? So for that, there is an inbuilt keyword that helps you to write, and it is exactly like English keyword. Like for example, when you want to say a condition, when you want to like just talk about a condition in English, you use a keyword, right? We use a keyword, right? Like if, for example, if you come tomorrow at 6 p.m., I'll start teaching you. So there is a condition only if you come tomorrow at 6 p.m. So if is one of the most famous keywords in English whenever you want to put a condition in front of someone. And that is the exact same keyword that is available in programming languages when you want to start writing conditions. Okay. And that is if. So you use if, then your brackets, rounded brackets or parentheses. And inside this, you simply write your comparison. Simply write your comparison. And then you create a block using curly braces. You create a block using curly braces, and inside this, you write your code. You simply write the code that you want to execute if this comparison goes true. Now see guys, this block of code will only execute if this comparison goes true. Otherwise, it will not work. Don't worry, guys. It's just like last 2 minutes. I'm just explaining you comparison. That's it. Okay. So that's how you write a basic conditional statement. You use the if keyword. Inside this, you write your comparison. You know what is comparison already, right? Comparison is nothing but comparison of data, comparison of two variables, checking if num1 is greater than num2 or num1 is less than num2. So if that comparison goes true, then only this block of code will execute. So that's how you write a basic conditional statement. And what if the comparison goes false? So for that, you have something called as else that you write with the if keyword like this, else. Else also has a block, and else will not have a comparison, guys. Else will never have a comparison. Else is simply if this comparison goes false, then I'll execute this. So this is how you write a basic conditional statement. If the comparison goes true, execute this and then simply go outside. If the comparison goes false, skip this, execute this block and then go out. So that's how a basic conditional statement works. Simple. Example, let's see. Just to give you a simple example, guys, let's go ahead. So let's create a variable called var num equals 25. Okay, like this. Okay, and let me write a comparison here. So if num, okay, sorry for that. If num is less than 45, let's write a very important code that is nothing but a console.log of hello. It's now if this comparison becomes true, then only execute this code. And if the comparison is false, let's simply execute this code. Simple. Now you guys tell me what is going to execute here. Everyone please tell me, isn't there a colon at the end of if and else statement? No, there is no colon. Sayesh, there is no colon in this JavaScript. No, you don't have to. Everyone, please tell me, guys. Everyone, can you tell me what is going to be the output? Now you know how they work, right? So can you tell me what is going to be the output? Hello or bye? You know, right? This comparison will give true or false. Our num value is 25. So I'm simply checking num, that is 25, is less than 45. That is normally what? 25 is less than 45? Yes, it is exactly true. It is true. So we should get a hello. Let's see. Here we go. We simply get a hello. And let's make it 55. Now we know that now 55 is not less than 45. So now this comparison is simply going to go false. So if the comparison is false, we're simply going to skip this block and we simply execute the else part. So now in this case, we should simply get what? Bye. So that's how a basic conditional work, and that's how you can execute a code based on a comparison. So remember guys, this is a comparison and this whole thing is a condition. So if you write a comparison with a if statement, it becomes a condition. So this here is a comparison. And now it should be easy for you because you have already learned about comparisons. Use less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to for comparisons. Okay, so that's easy, simple, right? If statement, if you want to execute some code based on the outcome of some other comparison, and these things are needed in future. Are we cleared, everyone? Guys, everyone, please tell me. So that's it. I'll leave on this for today and we'll continue it tomorrow. So we'll talk about more conditionals and how to write it properly tomorrow. And then we'll see loops and then we'll see arrays. And after that, we'll move ahead to the concept of DOM manipulation. Okay, everyone. Manish, don't worry. In future, we are planning. So after finishing I think responsiveness on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have a React Essential class. So don't worry, Manish. Don't worry. Okay, everyone. Okay. So, guys, that's it for today. This is what I wanted to end with so that you have the condition concept in your mind. And tomorrow we'll again talk about, we'll start with conditions. I'll show you some other conditional things as well. I'll show you some other conditional statements as well, how to write them and how to execute them properly. Then we'll move ahead to loops. Then we'll move ahead to arrays, then objects, and then do manipulation. So everyone, please tell me, are we cleared with all the things that we did today? Are we cleared with the basics of JavaScript? Tomorrow we'll again continue with the basics and then we'll move ahead to the DOM manipulation. Okay, guys? And remember, guys, after finishing JavaScript in the next 3 days, we are going to have a responsive web design class. So for the next 3 days, we're going to learn about responsive web design. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we are going for a React Essential. So we're also going to learn React. Shiva Prasad, can you tell me where is this error coming, buddy? See, buddy, for this, I have to see your code and I also have to see your console. So do one thing, take a screenshot of your console and also post your code in the community. So just join the community, post your code and take a screenshot of your console and put in the community so that I can see what is actually happening. Because by just reading this error, I cannot tell you what exactly is the problem. So just please go ahead and take a screenshot of your console and also post your code in the community so that I can solve it for you. Please, what will I be able to do after these lectures from you? I mean, I don't know what I will be able to do. Vikram, you'll be able to at least start with JavaScript DOM manipulation after these sessions. So after these 3 sessions, you'll be at least able to start with JavaScript DOM manipulation. And guys, everyone, I would just like to tell you something. So in here, we are only covering the essential things. If you want everything, like if you want the whole web development course, you can also go on to LetsUpgrade.in and join in the advanced course where I'll be there and I'll be teaching you everything from scratch till the end. And we're also going to make like 15 to 16 projects in there with like 400 plus hours of learning. It's like a 6-month course. And after 6 months, you'll become a complete web developer, having the complete knowledge of front end and back end. You'll be simply becoming a full stack developer that knows everything from scratch till the very end. And you'll be having experience of 15 plus projects that you're going to build in that whole course. So it's a 6 months course. So if you want to join in, you can go ahead and join in, or you can also use these essential things as the Kickstarter and you can also start learning on your own. But if you want, you can also join in the advanced courses where I'll be teaching you everything from scratch. Is that clear, everyone? So if you want, you can also come in and join there. Okay, guys, so don't worry. Tomorrow we'll cover up with all the other things like loops and arrays and objects. So I really hope that you enjoyed everything. I really hope that you learned something new. So please let me in the chat, guys. Did you enjoy the session or not? And about assignments and these files, all these things will be shared to you on the community and by mail. So please go on and join the community, and also please register for the exact same course. And you can see the group link is going on the chat, guys. The group link is going on in the chat. So please click on that link, join in that group, because all these things will be posted in that group. So the assignment question and the file that I created today will be posted in that group. So you can get everything there. So everyone, please, please, please join in the group so that you can see the assignment questions as well as all the files that I've created today. Okay, everyone. Will I be clear with DOM? Yes, yes, Nitin. Don't worry. You'll understand everything. Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. So everyone, bye-bye, everyone, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow exactly at 6. I want every one of you to join. Okay, right? Bye-bye, everyone. Good night. See you tomorrow at 6.